Hello everyone, welcome to Trades Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic, but please call me Pop for short. And today we are going to be looking at some of the things going on in the trades industrial areas. As we so often do, we'll start off with some news just to see we can gauge sort of how the economy is doing by what companies are building factories, where the money's going, how many jobs they need, and also how much tradespeople are in demand. Don't fool yourself. There is a big gap in people that are in the skilled trades and the people that are leaving the skilled trades due to retirement, old age, etc., etc. There's a giant shortage, and I've been saying this ever since I started my stream about trades talk. We need to fill that gap. We fill the shortage of workers, and it'll benefit everyone. So let's just get on here and see what we got in the news. Ever since I did my last trades talk, let's see, we'll go back to, what was that, September the 5th. U.S. applications for unemployment benefits fall to the lowest level in 7 months. BOC likely done raising interest rates despite job gains last month, economists. Unemployment rate steady at 5.5% in August as economy adds 40,000 jobs. That's in Canada. With strike looming, General Motors makes wage offer, which auto union leader calls insulting. Okay. Hello, Veritax. Good to see you. So are we going to have an auto workers strike now because of... Hello, DJ Ronnie G. Good to see ya. Yeah, are we going to have an automotive strike now? I don't know if that's such a good idea. If the big three are going to go on strike, that would make it prime hunting for like Tesla and such. Unless his workers are part of the auto workers union, but I don't know. Let's see what this says. Hello, Jay's daddy. Good to see you. General Motors' first wage and benefits offer to the United Auto Workers on Thursday fell far short of the union's initial demands. The offer comes just a week before the United Auto Workers' national contracts with GM, Stellantis, and Ford expire. And even though both sides are far apart, it's a sign of movement on economic issues. Still, Union President Shawn Fain called the offer insulting. He is threatening to strike against any automaker that hasn't reached a tentative agreement by the time contract expire at 11:59 p.m. on September 14th. That's Thursday. A strike against one or more automakers by up to 146,000 auto workers is a real possibility. GM said in a letter to workers that it's offering a 10% wage increase during a new 4-year contract, plus 2 more 3% one-time payments. It's also offering $6,000 inflation payment, $5,000 more in lump sums to protect against the inflation during the contract, and a $5,000 contract ratification bonus. The company wouldn't say when the pay raises or most of the lump sums would be effective. Still, that's a lot. Wow. 10% wage increase? Huh. You don't trust GM or Ford on this? They can't sell because they're overpriced a lot of things on lots? And they actually can write off losses if strike happens? You think, talk about dealing in bad faith? Yeah, it could be dealing in bad faith for sure. The wage offer is slightly better than the one from Ford that was rejected by the union last week. Its reliance on lump sum payments rather than annual pay raises is contrary to what Fain has been seeking. Last week, the UAW filed unfair labor practices complaints against GM and Stellantis with the National Labor Relations Board. At the time, though, neither company had made its counterproposal to the union's economic demands. The union, citing large company profits over the last decade and CEO pay raises, is seeking 46% across the board pay raises over 4 years. A 32-hour week with 40 hours of pay. Well, I don't know about that. Like, you're going to work 32-hour a week and get 40 hours of pay. That's, and I work a union job, and that just sounds not good for me. Like, you're going to work 4 days a week and get paid for 5? Restoration of traditional pensions for new hires. Union representation of workers at new battery plants. Restoration of traditional pensions and elimination of wage tiers. Top scale UAW assembly plant workers make about $32 an hour plus annual profit sharing checks. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a pretty good wage. All you know is they need a pay increase to be able to buy a car they built? Yeah. In a text message through a spokesman Thursday, Fain said the proposal doesn't come close to an equitable agreement. He accused GM of failing to bargain in good faith in the past 6 weeks and making the offer only after the union filed complaints with the NLRB. GM either doesn't care or isn't listening when we say we need economic justice at GM, Fain wrote. The clock is ticking. Stop wasting our members' time. In GM's letter to employees, signed by President Mark Roos and Manufacturing Chief Gerald Johnson, the company said the wage increases it proposed are the largest since the 1999 contract. Our offer includes well-deserved wage improvements that far exceed the 2019 agreement and reward you for your hard work, the latter said. We still have work to do, but we want to make this offer to show our good faith efforts to keep the process moving. The UAW is negotiating them out of jobs. They gotta be careful. Won't be any profit to share in the profit sharing. Yeah. Hey, Joseph, our resident judge is in the chat. How you doing, Joseph? The union was scheduled to make another offer in response to Ford's on Thursday. Stellantis said it would have a counterproposal by the end of the week. In an interview with the Associated Press on Wednesday, Fain conceded that the union won't get all of its demands in bargaining. He said the UAW would go on strike next week against any of the 3 automakers that have not reached a tentative contract agreement. So you always ask for more than what you expect to get. That's how negotiation works. The company's going to ask for more than what they get, and then you kind of compromise in the middle. You come to an agreement, Okay, well, we'll drop this if you guys do this, and you pay us this, and if we do this. It's just, they just got to work it out. So that may happen. We may have an auto workers strike, but we'll see. I don't think it's a good time for them to do that. South Korean firm opening a copper foil plant in Quebec for use in electric vehicles. You're eating a brownie. Well, I hope it's good. They're getting bold after UPS had their win. Okay. Granby, Quebec. A new player has entered Quebec's electric vehicle battery sector with a South Korean firm announcing it will open a copper foil factory in the province by 2026. Hey, Godzillionaire, how you doing? Copper foil? No thanks. I'll stick with aluminum. I don't know what the copper foil is for. Volta Energy Solutions, a subsidiary of South Korea's Solis Advanced Materials, will produce copper foil for car batteries destined for a growing North American market. The company will retrofit a facility in Granby, Quebec, southeast of Montreal, for the copper plant, which will provide Quebec with another piece of global EV battery supply chain. Volta Energy Plant, the first of its kind in Canada, is to initially produce 25,000 tons of copper foil per year starting in 2026. The company intends to increase capacity to allow for 63,000 tons when the expansion to the plant's ready to open in 2027, enough for about 2.5 million electric vehicle batteries. Construction on the expansion will begin next year. The Quebec government is giving the company a $150 million loan. Oh, what the hell? Once again, the government is giving away taxpayers' money to a company. It's a loan, $150 million loan, $26 million of which is forgivable, so they can just piss away $26 million and not worry about it. For the $750 million project that is expected to create 260 jobs. Ottawa, meanwhile, won't invest a matching amount, but will offer Volta Energy about $70 million through green investment tax credits and other programs. Railroad workers tried to strike, but Dear Leader forced them back to work. Dear Leader. Okay. Do copper foil hats offer better protection than tin? That's a good question. You just got to watch out for the what do you call oxidation, because it'll turn your copper colored green. You have copper and tin. Yeah, you can make brass. Volta Energy Solutions has 2 other copper foil plants in Hungary and Luxembourg. Quebec Premier François Legault attended the announcement Tuesday in Granby and said the project confirms the province is attracting global leaders in the battery and electric transportation industry. It will permit Quebec to have the first factory for EV battery copper foil in Canada, so we will be a leader, Legault said. The factory will export all over North America. Last month, Ford Motor Company announced a $1.2 billion manufacturing plan in Quebec for cathode active materials, which determine the capacity and power of EV batteries. UAW really wants the strike. They have obscene demand. Yes, they do, Godzilla. They, like I say, it's gotta be some give and take. You can't just take. Yeah, you've gotta, go back and forth and be reasonable. Sometimes I think these guys should think to themselves that they are doing a lot better than other people are. You watch a documentary on North Korea? No, don't be sorry about that, Joseph. Was it interesting? Did you learn anything? In U.S., Canada's game plan for Trump all about stepping up the tempo of talks. Oh, what is this now? Don't even talk to me about that. Sea-Doo maker BRP sees strong sales profit as supply chain woes recede. Okay, good. You see, California wants to offer unemployment benefits to striking workers. Full-blown communism. What? But that's what they get strike pay for. That's supposed to come out of your union dues and whatnot. You pay those so that you should get paid by the union when you're on strike. Not, what is wrong? Hello, California. Are you okay down there? Do you need help? Because I don't understand what's going on down there. That place, man, that earthquake can't come soon enough, What else we got here? Europe's economic outlook worsens as high prices plagues consumer spending. BMW to build new electric Mini in England after UK government approves multi-million-pound investment. California hasn't been okay for a long time. Yeah, I know. It's bizarre, the news you hear out of that place. Sadly, Governor American Psycho will likely be our next president. No, are you kidding me? No way. That's crazy. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. I'm sure anything can be fixed. Excuse me. Yeah. That's just, I'm sorry, guys. I feel bad for you if you live in California. Stellantis reports progress in talks with auto workers and plans to make another offer Monday. I'm gonna wait a whole week. The Nancy Pelosi. No, really? Related? The Walking Dead will vote him in? Yeah. What do you guys figure? Do you want to hear about the new electric Mini in England? Or do you want to hear about the Sea-Doo maker seeing strong sales? What do you guys think? Europe's economic outlook? They're related somehow. You forgot the actual relation. Okay. You want the new Mini? Sure, Joseph. We'll go for the new Mini. Let's see what's going on here. London. BMW announced plans Monday to transform its Mini factory in Oxford, England to produce nothing but electric vehicles, protecting thousands of jobs at the site that have been making cars for more than 100 years. The German automaker said it would invest £600 million in the project, allowing the factory to begin making 2 new all-electric models in 2026 before moving completely to electric vehicle production 4 years later. The commitment came after the UK government agreed to plough an undisclosed amount of taxpayer funding into the project. BMW plans a vote of confidence in Britain's beleaguered auto industry, which is struggling to compete amid an industry-wide shift to electric vehicles and the challenges created by the UK's exit from European Union's single market. The company's decision also ensures the iconic Mini will continue to be made in the country where it was born, as BMW aims to make the brand 100% electric by 2030. Yes, it's a British car, but it's owned by a German company, so it seems a little hollow to me. Unless it's owned by a British company again, it will not truly be British. Veritax, we'll check the European outlook as well. Bleak, low energy. Yeah, it could be, Joseph, could be. It goes along here. Today we are announcing the new generation of fully electric Minis are being built here in Oxford and setting the path for the future of this site. Milan Nedejovic, the BMW Group board member in charge of production, said. UK Business Secretary Kemi Badenoch declined to comment on reports that the government would invest £75 million in the project. Releasing such information would complicate negotiations with other companies as the government seeks to attract investment in electric car production, she said. The government has mandated that only zero-emission cars and vans may be sold in the UK by 2035. What I will say is that we do provide some subsidy, very light subsidy in the auto industry because it faces so much difficulty, and some of that is regulatory, Badenoch told reporters in Oxford. So if we're asking manufacturers to transition to net zero, that creates additional costs, which make it a little bit harder. So we do have to factor that in. One of the biggest hurdles facing Britain's auto industry is building factories to make the batteries needed to power the next generation of electric vehicles. Well, they could always get the batteries from us here in Canada. I mean, we just read an article about Quebec having a nice battery factory. The Mini Cooper. Yeah, das Mini Cooper. 100% electric by 2030, so in like 6 years. Since the 2030s are a year early. Yeah? You know, when you make it only sell a few cars, maybe you can do that. Wait, last name Badenov? Like the villain from, yeah. Boris Badenov. Fiat bought American Chrysler. Yes, they did. So instead of giving subsidies, remove regulations, do more. Yeah. Oh, there's so much red tape by the government. By us, the government. There's so much red tape. I wish there was a way to get rid of it. I don't know, maybe just start taking away all that regulatory stuff. Boris Badenov. Yes. British car production slumped 40% from 2019 through 2022 as the industry was hit by Brexit and the coup, as well as post-pandemic computer chip shortages and a transition to electric vehicles, according to figures from the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. While output has rebounded this year as chip shortages ease, the trade group estimates annual production at about 840,500 vehicles, down from more than 1.3 million in 2019. The Mini project is the latest boost for the UK auto industry, with vehicle makers announcing plans to invest more than £6 billion in Britain over the past 2 years. BMW said it would make electric versions of the Mini Cooper 3-door and the compact crossover Mini Aceman at the Oxford plant. The investment ensures Britain will remain one of the manufacturing hubs for the Mini after previous announcements of projects in China and Germany. British Motor Corp began making the Mini in Oxford in 1959. The small two-door car quickly became an icon of the cool Britannia of the 1960s. It featured in the 1969 heist movie The Italian Job and its 2003 remake. BMW acquired the brand in 1994 when it bought Rover Group, the successor to British Motor. Mini has always been aware of its history. Oxford is and remains the heart of the brand, Stephanie Wurst, the head of the Mini brand, said. Still owned by a German company. So they lost World War II, but they made it up afterwards, didn't they? Let's see. Europe's outlook. Frankfurt, Germany. The European Union has lowered its forecast for economic growth this year, and next, saying inflation is taking a heavy toll on people's willingness to spend in shops, while higher interest rates are sharply restricting the credit needed for investment and purchases. The revised forecast Monday from the European Commission and EU's executive arm comes as fears of recession grow And as the European Central Bank faces a key decision this week as on to whether to keep raising rates, which are aimed at getting inflation under control. You know how to get inflation under control? Stop printing money. Just stop it. That is what's making the price of things go up. It's not the fact that the price of things are going up. It's that your money is being steadily eroded away, the buying power of it. You know, it's becoming worthless. George Marshall Plan? Yeah, there you go. Economic outlook for Europe in 2024. France has already surrendered. Mon Dieu, what should we do? I don't know. How about we give up? That is a good plan for me. The 20 countries that use the euro currency are expected to see growth of 0.8% this year instead of 1.1% projected in the spring forecast. The Commission said for next year, growth expectations were lowered to 1.3% from 1.6%. For the broader 27-country EU, the forecast was also lowered to 0.8% from 1% this year and to 1.4% from 1.7%. Germany's dismantling their nuclear energy reactors. Yeah, how stupid is that? Of all the stupid things to do, you have a large population. You are in an area where you experience very cold winters, and you're going to make it so that people, well, let's face it, people are going to die because of the stupidity. Euro screwed. Yes, they are, Godzillionaire. You know it. But how dumb is that? I mean, the people there should just vote out whoever's in charge, get somebody in there that wants to actually, you know, help people out with energy and all that. Go ahead, do your lackadaisical solar and whatever, but make sure there's a steady base of electricity you can have. Not blackouts and stuff like this, and in the middle of winter, people freezing to death because they can't have reliable energy, reliable electricity. Just ridiculous. One might be convinced a few nuclear accidents weren't accidents. Yeah, I mean, it's just, is it coincidence? I know where you're going to, and yeah, I get it. And yeah, no solar on a cloudy day. Of course, you can have all that stuff. Do your solar and whatever else, wind power, but you got to have that backbone of reliable, steady energy that won't be fazed by the weather or, you know, anything that happens. That's just what I think, anyway. Weakness in domestic demand, in particular consumption, shows that high and still increasing consumer prices for most goods and services are taking a heavier toll than expected, a Commission statement said. EU Economy Commissioner Paolo Gentiloni said at a news conference that further weakening in coming months was foreseen as the economy faces multiple headwinds. One source of uncertainty is how far the ECB will go on interest rates. More expensive credit restrains economic growth in some areas, such as real estate, but if higher rates succeed in lowering inflation, that would boost consumer spending power. Recession fears have grown, even in the Eurozone, scraped through the winter without one, recording stagnant growth of 0.1% for the first 2 quarters of the year. Surveys of purchasing managers show the economic activity is contracting in all major Eurozone economies, according to Alexander Valentin, senior economist at Oxford Economics, data that add to mounting recession risks. We'll just use wind on cloudy days, said some unthinker. Yeah, you got her right, DJ Ronnie G. Meanwhile, China has 300 plus coal plants scheduled to be built. Yes, I don't get this. They come after us like we're so evil because we want to have steady, reliable electricity. And yet those guys over in China, they get to do whatever they want. Why aren't they not being held to task? People aren't coming at them and going, wow, you guys are polluting the earth. What's going on here? You know, oh, we don't want to get China mad. Oh no, they're going to come after us. Then who cares? I'm sure we could make them suffer a lot more than they can make us suffer. There are days where it's too windy for wind power as well as days that lack any wind. I've seen that too. If it's too windy, those windmills there, they can rip themselves apart, start on fire, crumble to the ground, all that good stuff. It doesn't seem that big kind of climate emergency if China can keep running coal. Yeah, of course. That's why they're not serious about it. Places like China and India, populations of 1 billion people, and you can't tell me that they have all the state-of-the-art waste management facilities. I mean, India, they dump their garbage right in the river. All their solid waste and human waste goes right in the river out to the ocean. So who's serious about this then? Why is it just us in the West that has to pay for this and take our lumps? This is not fair. Either shut up about it and let us do our thing here, or we'll do our part and you got to get on China and India's part to take care of their places. It's the whole valley around Palm Springs, California, where they have to turn off the wind turbines. Oh. If it's too windy, the wind turbines can be down. Yes. Yeah. Without China, where will I get my cheap crap from Amazon and Walmart? China had a river catch fire several years ago. Oh, man. I believe it. Why is that water burning? The Ganges River is one of the most filthy, polluted rivers. Yes, that's the one I was referring to. That's apparently supposed to be a sacred river, and they release their dead in it or something like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just what I've heard. But and people, it's a sacred river. They take pilgrimages there to swim in it, or wash in it, bathe in it, whatever. And it's like just the most disgusting thing you've ever saw. What do we got here? A key source of weakness has been Germany, whose manufacturing and export-oriented economy has been hit by higher energy prices and slowing demand in China, a key trade partner. The Commission cut its forecast from Europe's largest economy this year to minus 0.4%. Germany is the only major economy expected to shrink this year, according to the International Monetary Fund, which foresees a decline of 0.3%. Take time for Germany to address its issues with energy costs, Gentiloni said. We don't solve this in a couple of weeks, but he added that this is a strong economy and the tools and the possibility to recover. Despite near zero growth, the state of the larger Eurozone economy doesn't resemble a typical recession because unemployment is at record lows and wages are gradually catching up to the purchasing power lost to inflation as workers demand and get more. Energy prices have declined since the brutal spike tied to Russia's war in Ukraine, while food inflation keeps declining. Annual inflation was 5.3% in July, down from a peak of 10% in October. The Eurozone suffered twin shocks from the invasion of Ukraine and the COOF pandemic. Russia cut off most of its natural gas to Europe, sending prices skyrocketing and starting a scramble to line up more expensive alternative supplies. This is Europe's fault. You get what you deserve. And that's my belief. Europe was told by the United States government, you guys don't you dare deal with Russia. Don't you dare. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll listen to you. And now look at this. Look at what happened. Okay, well, Russia's like, okay, fine, we'll turn off natural gas for you. How do you like that? So, Europe, you get what you deserve. Cue the Monty Python, bring out your dead. Yeah. Germany's too busy building that Yahtzee base on the moon. I've heard about that. That's pretty funny that it was, they have it going back to like the end of 1945. And they made it to the moon. Yeah, you want to fix that? How about not invading your neighbor, eh? Now, blockbuster flag country is blameless in all this. They did nothing wrong. Yeah, they did nothing wrong. Exactly. The economic rebound from the pandemic sent consumer prices higher as demand for goods created bottlenecks in supplies of raw materials and parts, which have now mostly eased. Higher prices spread to food and then services, a broad category ranging from haircuts and hotel stays to medical treatments and car repairs. Prospects of weakening economic growth have led some economists to predict the European Central Bank may avoid raising interest rates Thursday, following 9 straight hikes. ECB President Christine Lagarde has said the decision is open and will be made based on available data. In just over a year, the central bank has raised the benchmark deposit rate from minus 0.5% to 3.75%, the fastest pace since the euro currency launched in 1999. The downgrade in the euro forecast comes as the euro trades lower against the US dollar, down at $1.07, down from $1.12 in late July. One reason is the ongoing rally in the dollar, which has recorded gains against the other major currencies for 8 straight weeks, as the market increasingly sees economic weakness in China and Europe instead of in the US. A weaker euro can complicate life for the ECB by increasing the price of imported goods, such as energy, that are priced in US dollars. On the other hand, it makes European exports more competitive in price. And there you go. Europe gets what it deserves. America shouldn't be involved in the Slavic. 100%. America, Canada, why are we sending, and I know America is sending a lot of billions of dollars to the Ukraine. Billions. What's their stake in it? Who benefits by America sending all that money there? What is going on? That's why the whole BRICS thing is terrifying. I mean, yeah, they want to, and I know China wants their money to be the world reserve currency. They want to topple the US dollar, and they want to be the one that's used for all the international transactions. So yeah. It can get ugly out there. America, yeah, and I'm being involved in the Ukraine thing and all that, like, man, just leave it. Like, it was, the unwritten rule was there was the NATO countries and there was the Warsaw Pact countries, and none of them would ever encroach on one another. But, they screwed around with Ukraine. They got rid of the elected leader there, and they put in this clown that's there now. And this guy is just a puppet of the U.S. government. He was a comedian before he's all of a sudden he's a president of a country. Like, what is with that? I don't get it. And now it's like, oh, now we're in a war, and yeah, it's like, man. They should never have screwed around with it. Actually, it seems that China decided they don't want to be a reserve currency because they can't play the debasement game they've gotten away with for decades. Yes, they're like, oh, our money is worth this much, and just because we say it is, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess. Comedian, use that term loosely. Yes, I do. But it's just unbelievable. Anyway, that's enough news. Let's move along. If anyone's interested, I found this article on Canadian metalworking, or the Canadian Metalworking Magazine. How can Canada close its skilled trades gap? This applies to the U.S. as well. And I don't know how they start out this article. Taylor Swift is moving from music superstar to economic powerhouse in front of our eyes. I don't know why he would start out with a Taylor Swift analogy, but okay. Her tour, Eras, is expected to earn as much as $5 billion more than the gross domestic product of dozens of countries. The anti-hero singer is a phenomenon. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bank of Canada hikes interest rates again when she rolls through Toronto's Rogers Centre in November 2024 to counter Swift's tourflation. Canadians are becoming increasingly sick of hearing about inflation and the rising interest rates that are so strongly bound to it. Cost of borrowing is high, which is doing nothing to help the nation's affordable housing crisis. For manufacturers, it also makes borrowing money to purchase capital equipment more expensive over the lifetime of a loan. Interest rates, inflation, and the rising cost of goods and services across the manufacturing sector are unsettling for business owners. They create an uncertain near-term economic outlook that is a scary thing for any business. Can insert country here close its skilled trade gap? No. I'm afraid you might be right, Godzillionaire. I'm going to need an apprentice to take over for me. I'm not going to be where I'm at for forever. Maybe another 15 years. But I'm going to need somebody to train to take over for me when I decide to retire. So, Here's hoping. Recently, the Canadian Association of Mold Makers in Windsor, Ontario, surveyed its membership to take its sector's temperature. The responses were as varied as the shops themselves. When asked about mold making industry's current status, some respondents thought business was good and the industry was strong, while others indicated that the sector was slow. A common thread in the survey, however, showed that many companies are expecting at least some kind of windfall as the focus on EV technology increases. One industry problem is that it's still hard to solve, and one the government can't cure by raising interest rates is finding skilled workers. When CAM asked its members about the challenges they are currently facing, one response remained consistent across the board: the inability to find qualified, skilled workers to fill empty positions. This response was not surprising because most sectors in the manufacturing industry are still experiencing a skilled labor shortage. Governments typically only have a two-play playbook. Tax it or wait and see. Neither of these strategies will help close the skills gap. The education system, both secondary and post-secondary schools, see this gap, but the wheels of change turn slowly and time is needed for the next generation of students to be exposed to the challenges and rewards of advanced manufacturing. The next gen doesn't want to work. By the time a new generation does, there won't be anyone to train them. Unfortunately, you're probably right. Mold making is easy. Just leave some bread out for a week or two. Bam! You got yourself some mold. That's right. The Canadian Manufacturing Technology Show is being held in this month at Toronto's Congress Centre. I encourage you to spend some time there with some young people from your shop or family. Manufacturers need to help drive interest in their own sector, and it starts at home. Well, that wasn't a very good article, was it? The question is that how Canada closed its skilled trades gap? They really don't give you... The guy writing this is by Joe Thompson, and he sure didn't answer what could be done about that. I'll tell you what should be done. Start it off early in school. Introduce it even in elementary, even with stuff like Lego blocks, building and stuff like that. Show them some interest. Show them that they're to see what piques their interest as far as working with their hands and getting the skills down. Do stuff like that. And then in high school, they can offer shop classes. You can also get an apprenticeship when you're in high school in some places. So it's like that's where you do. You start early. You introduce it to the kids because they'll take to it, and they learn a lot better when they're young. And you'll have them come out as interested in the trades, and they'll see that it's a good career choice. The mayor of New York City sent an email to new city workers about budget cuts due to the migrant crisis that he's responsible for and C-19 stimulus ending. Budget cuts because of the migrant crisis. Yeah. Good job, New York. You're around New York, aren't you, DJ Ronnie G? I'm just wondering because I think Texas was sending a bunch of them by bus to New York because they're the ones that kept saying, "Yeah, let the migrants in, let them in, it's fine." Yeah, until they show up in your city, right? You only got into the tech field because your dad forced you to help fix stuff at home. Come on, boy, get out there and fix that thing. Sometimes, you get that push. In the same email, he's saying that the federal government needs to pay their fair share, bail the city out, and basically hinted to putting city workers through the ringer. What a scumbag. You guys should get rid of him. You're one of those city workers. Oh! DJ Ronnie G experiencing it firsthand. That sucks, buddy. A couple months ago, they sent us an email asking for volunteers to provide rooms in their homes for migrants. What? Or to volunteer at a migrant respite center. Be like, no. That's okay. They sent some of the migrants to Martha's Vineyard, where all the rich elites lived. They raised only... Of course, it's the elite rich, right? They're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Let the migrants in. That's okay. But not in my area, not in my city. Memory serves, the New York City mayor's mansion has a lot of extra rooms. Yeah, hey, look at those extra rooms. You say looking to improving space for migrants during a press conference? Okay. A week later, he made up some BS about, oh, but there are laws that prevent me from doing it. Yeah, sure there is. You're the mayor. Can't you make laws? Just ridiculous. If you're interested, I have a list of skilled trade jobs. Below are some of the most popular skilled trade jobs for you to consider. Many jobs require less than 2 years of education and an apprenticeship to get started. Eventually, we will have a how to become page for every trade on this list so you can learn more about what it takes to do these jobs. This is an American website, by the way. This is Blue Collar Brain. So if you're looking for it and information to pass along to people, Blue Collar Brain seems to be the one to get to. Yeah, rules for thee, but not for me. Oh yeah, we've seen that so many times, haven't we? Construction skilled trades. Carpenter, mason, boilermaker, electrical technician, construction and building inspector, or roofer. Oh, and they have the salaries here too. Electrician, painter, flooring installer, fencer, insulation worker, sheet metal worker, plumber, HVAC technician, cement and concrete finisher, glazers, iron worker, solar PV installer. I mean, the one on there that makes a lot looks like boilermaker, $64,000. That's decent. I mean, wow, you're doing all right with that. Blue Collar Brain, Jake D, and Whoopa are all about their big brain moments. Oh, it's big brain time now. What else we got? Oh, there's agricultural ones, like a crop duster, logging worker, farmer, professional fisherman, farrier. Holy. The median annual salary. So that median means everyone's all put all together, and then it's what's in $116,000 for a farrier? Whoa, man. That's it's crazy. Fencer? I've always wanted to be a sword fighter. All the solar installs need electricians with home contracting experience to engineer their installation. Yes. Yes, Veritax. Exactly. Hope fencing and track and field too for NES. There you go. Food skilled trades. A bartender, a food service manager, a butcher, food service workers, and chefs or head cook. Median annual salary, $50,000. Oh, here we go. Maintenance and repair skilled trades. Aircraft mechanic, boat mechanic, facilities maintenance, motorcycle mechanic, appliance repair, diesel mechanic, gunsmith, wind turbine technician, auto mechanic, an elevator mechanic, or a locksmith. Crazy. Look at those. I mean, a boat mechanic makes an average of $93,000. That's great. Or an elevator mechanic makes $97,000. You're specializing though. I mean, elevator mechanic is pretty specialty. You got solar panels installed in your home last November. Hey, nice. Play Pilot Wings on SNES. Can I apply for the crop duster position? The old crop duster. Get out your biplane. Since March, nearly every power bill has been $8 or less. That is awesome. Good job, Veritax. It's really, you're really getting a lot of sun out of that, wherever you're at. Bartenders make more than that if they run for Congress. Yeah. Or if you're that guy, that Ukrainian leader there, you're a comedian and you make lots of money being the president of a country. You thought about putting solar panels on the screen house and using it to charge your own batteries? Yeah, that would work. You'll pay on them for 20 years? Yeah, it's the initial, and you gotta wait a few years to get your return on investment. The key is power rates keep going up. Loan will stay mostly flat. Yeah? And also look and see if you can get some incentives and stuff like that. What do they call those things? Rebates from whoever you can get your rebates from. Manufacturing skill trades, CNC programmer, iron worker, material moving machine operator. Is that a fancy way to say forklift driver? Welder, fiberglass fabricator, line installer, metal fabricator, tool and die makers, a glass blower, machinists, and a millwright. There you go. There's medical skilled trades, a dental hygienist, a massage therapist, radiation therapist, sterile process technician, an EMT, paramedic, respiratory therapist, home health aide, phlebotomist, and sleep technologist. Service skilled trades, 911 operator, garbage collector, landscaper, mailman, patrol officer, exterminator, hazardous materials removal. An average pay of $46,000 for that. I would ask for more money. Hazardous materials removal. A life coach, maintenance and repair worker, pet groomer, a florist, jeweler, a luthier. What the hell is a luthier? A mortician, and a watch repairer. Transportation skilled trades. Air traffic controllers. Ooh, that is a high pressure job, but they make big money. $132,000. Wow. Flight attendant, helicopter pilot. $202,000 for a helicopter pilot? Oy. Aircraft cargo handling supervisor, freight broker, train conductor, bus driver, heavy equipment operator, and a truck driver. Hopefully you can make more than that. Truck driver, if you're an owner-operator, hopefully you can make more than that. Other skilled trades, commercial driver, woodworker, quality control inspector, a roustabout. Seriously, a roustabout? They spend weeks away from home, work on oil rigs and oil fields, and do some pretty rough manual labor. Okay, they call them roustabouts. We call them roughnecks. Reasons to consider a skilled trade career. While a college degree has always been seen as the American dream, one with promises of job security, high pay, and plentiful opportunities, there is so much more to consider. Many people go to college not really knowing what they really want to do in life. How does an 18-year-old know what they want to do in 10 years? Then they spend 4 years going through the motions, usually collecting a lot of debt along the way. Then they graduate and wind up working in a job they did not even go to school for. Or if they do go into their field, realize they hate it. This is why it's important to have a discussion with the kids about opportunities. A trade career may not be seen as the better option, but it's what keeps America running. So we think they are a very much better option. When should someone consider the leap into the trades? When they 100% know that college is not for them. They are bored or tired of their existing career and want to change. When they want to find a job that is more lucrative than their existing job. If they love working with their hands and creating or fixing things. These are just a few signs a trade career might be a good fit. Our trade career guides can help you learn more about potential jobs to help you see if a career might be right for you. Getting started, while a 4-year degree is not required, there are some steps you'll have to complete to get into just about any trade. In most cases, you'll need to be over 18 years of age, have a high school or diploma or GED, attend a trade school or technical college to get classroom and hands-on training, secure and complete an apprenticeship which provides on-the-job training under a more experienced worker. Ready to find a trade school near you? Go ahead and check out our list of vocational schools to get you started. Colleges and job security, what an oxymoron. Yeah. When I was going through school, everybody was doing computers. This is in the early 90s. And a lot of my classmates were doing computer stuff, and they were graduating and going into doing computer things, and now computer programmers are a dime a dozen. And I went into skilled trades, and now I am in demand. So, dodged a bullet there. Looks like I picked the right thing after all. It was short-term pain for long-term gain, because a lot of guys just got out of school and then went to work. They didn't care what, but they were working labor jobs and all that. But I went to trade school and learned some stuff and then got my apprenticeship, and yeah, things worked out okay. Okay, go like this. I got some pictures for you guys. I got pictures. I know you guys are excited. Let's see here. I'll just get it set up here. Actually, before pictures, why don't we have a commercial?
Oh, hey there everybody. How are you? Well, I don't always play video games, but when I do, I make sure to safely make a safety save in a safe environment. And if you don't know how to make a safety save, well then make sure you check out Pop Culture Mechanics, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Central on Saturday mornings, where you can learn how to make a safety save that you might be so excited, you could dance if you wanna. So, come on and check out Pop Culture Mechanics on Saturday mornings. Going to see you there. Bye.
Finally! Yes! Whew! My God! All right. So, pictures coming up. Let me see here. We'll just go like this and like this. Oh, there we go. Hey, like how his brother looks similar but acts differently? Yes. Punk waddle, drunk waddle. So this is a valve that was installed. And I get a call from the engineer involved in this project. Like, hey, I'm gonna try to buy it's a Habonim, all right. He's like, I'm going to try to buy from the manufacturer a wheel with a chain on it so these guys can actuate it. Because this is up in the ground. I'm on a scaffolding right now. This is like 10 feet in the air. And he's like, I'm going to try to buy one. And I said, okay, yeah, I can install it if you get it. So he calls back. Nope, they don't make one for these small enough for these valves. Can you make one? I'm like, yeah, I guess I can. So, this is what it looked like beforehand. And I had to look in there to see it was held on. And yes, there is a circlip in here. So I got out the pliers there to remove that. And I just got some different shots of it. As you can see, the handle goes out here. Just having to make good veil handles. I don't know if they'd fit on. I don't know. There's another shot. I had to really get my camera in there because I wanted to see. And it does pretty good at taking it. When it can focus, it gets some pretty good shots. You're just going to keep your head down once the world starts falling apart. More so, you'll raise your rates. Yeah. So here's what I did. I went and I grabbed a second handle off a spare handle we had from Habonim. And I cut it and bent it, and then I welded it so that it was at a 45-degree angle. And then I did the same with the other one on this side. I took it, I cut a piece out, I bent it in, and then I welded it. So it's welded on both sides now. Then I drilled holes in it, put these snap hooks in, and attached the chain to it. So now, these guys can, from the ground, pull the valve. And this valve doesn't get actuated very often at all. During shutdown, and maybe if they have to isolate something, but it doesn't get moved, all the time. So they'll be able to pull down on this one, and it should come over and just do a quarter turn to shut it. And if they need to, they can pull on this one, and it'll come open it up again. That makes way more sense than how you're trying to envision this solution. Yeah, well, you know what? I had one idea in mind, but then I changed it once I saw that this piece here comes off, and you only got a little bit of thread left. So tried to make something that would fit on here, and I'm like, okay, that won't work. So then, like I say, I just went and grabbed a second one that fit over here, and I managed to, there was enough thread left to thread this nut on to hold them secure. I even put some nice red Loctite on there to keep it from coming loose. And I also put in a safety wire, as you can see here, because if that ever comes off, you don't want it falling down. But this wire here goes around the valve body and then around the handle. That hole I drilled in there. And that is that. As you can see here is another better shot of it. So there was enough room to put two of these together and screw that on. And then put everything else on. And there's another shot of it there. I did come back up after and close this snap hook. I didn't realize it got caught a little bit, so I just moved it and the spring closed it. Imagine if they had the idea of ergonomics when a lot of these plants were first constructed. That's a big problem, Veritax, for a lot of plants. Not just modern, or not just old ones. Modern ones are still, they don't think about maintenance at all. They don't think how you're supposed to get in there to get at something. So I see a lot of that still. This plant was built back in like 1964. So yeah, there's not going to be a lot of friendly things about it. So yeah, that is my solution for that problem. So I got to do a little bit of fabricating, which I enjoy. I like being able to cut and weld things. Non-structural, of course. And then being able to I called the engineer up. I said, yeah, okay, I've got your handle all done. And he was happy. He could call the scaffolders to come and take the scaffolding down, because scaffolding costs money. So once they take that down, the guys will be able to actuate this valve from the ground. And it shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully everything works out smoothly. I got one other thing here. Where is it? Show you guys. Oh, yes, here it is. This thing. So when a motor drives a pump, they're usually connected by a coupling. So there's the steel coupling here, and there's usually a coupling insert, a rubber coupling insert that goes inside here, for those of you that don't know. And when I was changing the rubber coupling out, I noticed something on this one. And you guys can probably see it now with the picture here. But look at that. Look at that crack. It's almost through. And I have some better shots of it, but that's just the one from the side. There you go. A little better. And from the top, look at that. It's starting to go all the way through, and it's starting to cave in. So I know what this is from. As you can see on these pictures here, see these vertical lines? That's from a pipe wrench. So where this is connected to a pump that pumps hot sulfur. And you have to keep it hot, otherwise it'll freeze up on you. Like the viscosity will shoot right up and you won't be able to pump it anymore. Because sulfur is really weird. It gets to a certain temperature and then it turns liquid, and then if you go even hotter than that, it turns back into a solid. Very strange. You have a very narrow window of keeping your sulfur liquid. And so if it gets too hot, it turns to solid, and then this happens where it stops the pump, and then you have to try to turn the impeller, and you can't do it by hand, so you guys go and get a pipe wrench, and they put it on here, and they turn it, and they turn it hard, and I'm guilty of this too. But this is the result. You break your coupling. And so I've had to replace this one with a brand new one and not use a pipe wrench to turn it. And there you go. That is what happens when a coupling gets pulled with a pipe wrench. Because you can put some pretty mean horsepower on the end of a pipe wrench, especially one that's like 18 inches long. Let's see if I got anything else for you guys. What do we got? That one, there's that one. Sureflex? Was it a Sureflex? TB Woods? Probably Sureflex. Oh, here we go. I'm quite proud of myself. Okay. Yes, and there you go. You wanted to see me? You ever wanted to see me in a picture? Here you go. Pop's hands holding the camera. You're gonna laugh at me, but that crap looks like the crack that the universe was seeping into, and the TARDIS exploded, and that one Doctor Who. Yep. There you go. See, pop culture is not far away, no matter even in real life. This is a lid for a used oil container, and right now it's not very easy to lift up and, get out of the way. As you can see, it's not very user friendly right now. But what happens when Pop gets a hold of it? I throw on a handle. And I make sure it's secured nicely. And now, everybody won't have a hard time lifting this thing up. Nope. Thought I took more pictures than that. Huh. Thought I had a downward one too. Oh well, I guess I didn't. But yes, there you go. Holy tetanus, Batman. Yeah, a lot of rust, eh? A lot of rust. But yes, that is a lot better. That's my job as well. Not just to fix things that are broken down, but try to make things better. If you come across something and it's like, you know what? This is just not good enough. We need something better. Then you try to make things better so that it doesn't just benefit you, but everyone else at the operation, Or when people come to you and say, hey, we could sure use something for this. And it's usually my job to try to think of something. Something we can do. Something that can make things better. Because the more you can make things better for people, the more they're going to want to stick around and they're going to be there and work and enjoy their job. You shouldn't go to work miserable. You should go to work and be happy. Yeah, it's a job. Hopefully it's a job you like to do. And I think that's important, even for myself. When it's not fun anymore, or you're not having a good time, then it's time to change jobs. Go somewhere else. But yes, that's that for today. I want to let you guys know that The Fan Expo is coming up this weekend. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I think I'm going to have to move my streams around. Probably like an hour earlier. So my game stream on Saturday, I'll start it at 8 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Time. That's 10 o'clock Eastern. 7 o'clock Pacific. Same with Anime Chat. I think I'll move that to 8 a.m. on Sunday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll try that. Or if nobody wants that, if they don't like that, then I could always just cancel the whole stream altogether. But we'll see. Just want to thank everybody that came out today. Appreciate you guys showing up. Veritax and DJ Ronnie G, Jay's daddy, and Joseph Dredd, our own judge, in the chat. Godzillionaire, it's always good to see you. Everyone's favorite kaiju. And anyone else that happened to be lurking in the background. If you were on Kick or Rumble, I really appreciate you coming by. This is just my little trade stream. It's a little stream that could. Yes, actually, Joseph, it's the Edmonton Expo. I'll be going to that Friday, right after work. I'm going to come home, grab the wife, and we are going to head over to the Edmonton Expo. And Friday is our shopping day. So we'll try to catch some good deals and see if we can get what we want. And then Saturday and Sunday, those are the busy days. Say hi to Raquel Briggs. She's one of us. Does she have a panel there? Is she going to be Raquel Briggs? Is she a guest there? Would she know me? Oh, she has a book for sale. Okay. Nice. Yeah, no, that should be a fun time. I try to go every year. I try to go to that expo. I try to go to the Calgary Expo. Obviously, with what happened in previous years, it's not so good we couldn't go. But it's nice to get back into it. It's always fun to dress up too. Get out there and get some pictures taken. So yeah. I look forward to a good time, especially on Friday, right after work. That'll be good. They always have the food trucks there and everything like that. It's pretty good. Good venue. I really like it. They have a large building and a long glass wall, like for the hallway. You can look out there and there's seats right there. So no matter how cold it is outside, you can be nice and toasty inside. She streams with sci-fi Star Trek streamers. Okay. Just give me a second. I'll write her name down here. Because that's what I do. I write things down. Raquel Briggs. Briggs. There we go. Joe Dredd says hello. All right, you got her. Joe Dredd, our own judge, in the chat. Nice. Yeah, good stuff, Joseph. Right on. Thanks for letting me know. So I'll probably end up blowing some money there as well. I have quite an extensive comic collection. I have like 1,800 comic books. So, yeah, I only have a few more I want to get. But we'll see. All right, everyone. It was a fun time. I'm certainly glad you showed up. Very grateful. I'm glad we can do this again next time. Like I say, coming up Saturday, stream is going to be an hour earlier. Same on Sunday. That stream is going to be a little an hour earlier as well. I hope you'll join me for that. But if not, you can at least watch the replay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, visit all the people I usually tell you to visit. And, yeah. Until next time, everyone, I've been Pops, and I am signing off.